Hey guys, good evening and thanks for joining. So next couple of classes, I'm going to discuss about topic-wise interview questions. So from the starting to our overall different types of security domains, what are we discussed. So first we are going to discuss about networking concepts. Under the networking concepts, our first topic is OS layers. In the OS layers, what are the different types of questions maybe we can expect based on my experience and also based on the other students' feedback. So I got it couple of questions regularly. They are asking about these questions. Those questions are first and foremost, what is TCP three-way handshake? So this is one of the very regular popular interview question we can expect from the interview point of view. So this TCP three-way handshake, it will fall under the transport layer as per OS layers. In between our client and server or peer-to-peer devices, or maybe our client and application or client and database or any other two devices. So first client will initiate the connection as a synchronization request and server will respond back with sync plus acknowledgement, and finally client will respond back okay acknowledgement as a feedback or summary. So that particular total overall process happening in between client and server or peer and peer devices, we can call it as TCP three-way handshake. Whenever you are explaining about this particular answer, better you can take one practical scenario or practical example. Maybe take example PhonePe or Google Pay or maybe Google or maybe okay. So you want to write any travel-based application and so on. For example, maybe so I want to know about so and so address in the X city. In that scenario, as a client, I will go and I will give the so respect to company name and address where the location I want to find out in the Google Maps or maybe Google search engine. Now Google will respond back with the sync plus acknowledgement by doing all these analysis, and it will provide about whatever address I'm looking for as a sync and acknowledgement. And finally, so as a client or as a peer device, as end user, I'm going to give thank you so much for the Google server. So this is the way how the total overall backend process will happen. So that is called TCP three-way handshake. So that is one of the regular question we can expect. In the similar way, so instead of asking the OS layers, respect to interviewer, you can expect the interview question in the different way as a practical scenario based. What is the practical scenario based? You are an end user and you are accessing one of the website name is called as facebook.com in the web browser. So what is the backend process? So most of the cases, instead of the facebook.com, you can change into some other website also. That may be google.com. Most of the cases we can expect. I give an example as facebook.com. Take maybe any other website also. Most of the cases as per the experience, google.com they will give. So google.com or youtube.com, any another third party website. So you are trying to access what is the backend process. So this answer you have to explain in the form of it will follow OSA layer approach. So each and every layer, what is the data format and how the okay, so overall application can be converted into bytes, and finally end user is able to understand about whatever request is provided to any other website or application side. As an end user, if I want to access facebook.com in the web browser, so facebook.com, it is the application as per OSI. So that application can be converted into presentation layer in the form of data. That presentation of the data can be converted into session in the session layer in the form of the data. That session can be converted into segments or datagrams in the transport layer. That session can be converted into IP packets in the network or internet layer. That IP packet can be converted into frames as a data format in the data link layer. That frame can be converted into 0 or 1 or raw bits in the physical layer. In such a way, end user computer can understand about whatever website end user is able to access as a facebook.com. That is what you have to provide. Basically, this answer we can explain in the total 3 ways. One is through voice layer approach, second through DNS resolution,
TCP IP logs.
third one is SSL TLS handshake. So, but most of the cases they are expecting via answer through voice layer approach only. Otherwise, if you know about these 3 solutions, you can provide these 3 solutions also. But 90% of the cases, so they are expecting the answer via voice layer approach. Instead of the asking the question in the form of the directly explain about voice layers, they need practical scenario oriented question. What is the practical scenario oriented question here? So all the voice layers, 7 layers approach, whether you are aware of the each and every layer functionality or not. So that is the basically question here. That means most of the KPI I have seen, they are giving the generic answer. As an end user, if I'm able to access google.com, google.com can be web browser, its application. Then I'm able to access the application through HTTP request. That is a blunder mistake. It's a layman terminology. At least you are able to respond back with DNS resolution, internet will be happy. At least you are able to respond back with SSL TLS handshake or negotiation through symmetric and asymmetric cryptography, internet will be happy. So you are saying like, okay, I will open the web browser, I'll go google.com, then google.com HTTP request, HTTP response will come back. Then I can access the website. Is it anywhere technical terminology people are using? Not at all. So don't say this layman terminology to understand about how the backend process will be. Try to apply whatever concepts we discussed in the practical scenario based. So this answer we can give even in these 3 solutions also. But as per overall, okay, so I mean overall the different people feedback is a voice layer approach. But otherwise you can give total 3 answers. Where the end user is able to give the facebook.com in the web browser, this particular backend process it will follow total 3 ways. First one is voice layer approach, second one is DNS resolution, third one is SSL TLS handshake. Once again you can elaborate each and voice layer approach wise how it will work, DNS resolution wise side how it will work, or SSL TLS handshake side how it will work. Otherwise, okay, in simple, just forget about remaining DNS resolution or SSL TLS handshake. Just explain about only voice layer approach. That's fine. Third question. So here, sync, sync plus acknowledgement and acknowledgement. I'm giving in the simple answers, but this will not work out. You have to frame the sentences. Take practical example. Take practical scenario. Next one. Explain about voice layers. Straight away they will ask. Voice layers can be used for the communication purpose in between peer-to-peer devices. Example, end user to application. So there are 7 OSI layers. I will explain from ascending order, from top to bottom. Layer number 7, application. Layer number 6, presentation. Layer number 5, session. Layer number 4, transport. Layer number 3, network. Layer number 2, data link. Layer number 1, physical. Shall I explain in-depth analysis? Can you please allow me? Then you can ask back the interviewer. If they need in-depth analysis once again, then you can explain about in-depth analysis also. Why? Because time constraints. Only you are explaining this question itself 5 minutes. Then maybe whatever questions they written in the Excel sheet, you are not able to compete or complete. Okay. So that is explain about OSL directly, straightforward. Next one. What is the difference between encryption and hashing? It's almost very most of the interviews we can expect. What is the difference between encryption and hashing? So the process of the converting the plain text data into encrypted data using some of the algorithm and also using the password or key is called as encryption. So encryption opposite is decryption. Mathematically, it is a two-way function. Reverse also possible. And hashing is nothing but digital representation of the file. That file in the form of the characters and numbers. That is called a hashing. Hashing is one-way function. Reverse is not possible. In simple words, they are not expecting not even definition also. But I'm giving the definition also. Encryption is two-way function mathematically, and hashing is one-way function, and reverse is not possible. So that is the main difference between encryption and hashing. Simple. Okay. Next one. Explain about TCP versus UDP, or explain differences between TCP and UDP. So TCP full form is Transmission Control Protocol. UDP full form is User Datagram Protocol. TCP is a reliable protocol, but UDP is a non-reliable protocol. TCP has a three-way handshake, but UDP doesn't have three-way handshake. TCP will provide the acknowledgement, and UDP will not provide the acknowledgement. TCP is slower, but UDP is faster. TCP has a feedback, but UDP doesn't have the feedback. TCP data format is segments, and UDP data form is datagrams. Okay, and finally, example of the TCP connections are each and every website you are accessing. It will follow transport layer. Online streaming, online videos, online movies in the real-time monitoring site, any Skype or video or Facebook audio call, all these fall under the UDP. So that is the main difference between TCP and UDP. Okay. Next one. Router will fall under which layer?
Network layer.
Yeah. So layer number 3, it is a network layer. Okay, switch will fall under which layer? Layer number 2, it's a data link layer. Data link layer. Okay, next one. What is the difference between switch and router? Sorry, router and switch, or switch and router, both are same. So switch is an intelligent device. Router also is an intelligent device. Switch will fall under the layer number 2, that is called as a data link layer. And the router will fall under the layer number 3, that is called as a network layer or internet layer. Switch will use data format is a frames. Router, it will use, data format is IP packet. Switch, it will use Okay, so
MAC
MAC address as a physical address, and router it will use numerical number of the address is called as logical address. Switch it will support virtual LAN concept. Router will not support virtual LAN concept. If you want to connect two buildings, two sites, two cities, two countries, two continents, two states, router is a mandatory device, but switch will not support this one. Router will support internet. Switch will not support internet. Router will support virtual private network as a VPN. Switch will not support VPN. Router will fall under layer number 2. Switch will fall under layer number 3. Okay. So this is what we have to explain about what is the difference between router and switch. As I said, in the voice layer itself, we can go and we can make 1000 plus internet questions. Which layer it has? Okay, so two sub layers. Data link layer. Those two
Data link
layers
layer.
are media access control, logical link control. Data format in the each and every layer. Each and every layer attacks, each and every layer protocols. All those will fall under the voice layers. That means you are thorough in the each and every layer. Then you know about each and every layer definition, each and every layer the attack names, each and every layer protocols, each and every layer data formats. Then only you can give the proper answer. But as per once again, if I want to filter in this one, once again, TCP three-way handshake, regular internet question. Second one is regular internet question. And finally, explain about voice layers and difference between encryption hashing, difference between TCP and UDP. These 5 questions we can expect regularly. Out of all these 5, once again, if I want to filter, so second one and also third one, not third one, fourth one. Second and fourth, these two are almost in all the interviews we can expect. Okay, so that is about first topic whatever we discussed. If we're moving into second topic, TCP IP layers. In this one, maybe the one more thing. See, this voice layers is also called a voice reference model. Both are same. Don't get confusion here. TCP IP layers. There are only 4 layers in the TCP IP. So layer number, so layer number 4, so not layer. Layer number 4 is application layer. Layer number 3 is the transport layer. Layer number 2 is network or internet layer. And layer number 1 is physical layer, not physical, data network interface layer. So these are all the 4 layers will form the TCP IP layers. In the practical scenario based, when we can use these TCP IP layers? What is TCP IP layers? Yeah. And how many TCP layers are there? 1 second. When we can use TCP IP layer analysis for troubleshooting purpose, debugging purpose, and also whenever any outage oriented issues, implementation oriented issues, or firewall oriented issues, or SIEM tool oriented issues, using the Wireshark packet capture analysis, we can analyze the TCP IP layers. Okay, second question here I will give. Do you have experience on Wireshark? Yes, I do have experience on Wireshark. Whenever if I want to analyze network outage related issues, application performance related issues, security related issues, server performance related issues, log onboarding related issues, or any other troubleshooting related issues, I can use Wireshark by doing the packet capture. Wireshark can be used the packet capture analysis in between source and destination. It will provide the TCP IP layer analysis in between source and destination in the application layer side. So whether what is the HTTP request, HTTP response, what is the token we are using, and what is the DNS resolution it's happening, that can be used on the application layer side. Under the transport layer side, whether TCP three-way handshake is completing in between source and destination, or TCP two-way handshake is happening, or TCP five-way handshake is happening or not in the network or internet layer. So is there any packet is retransmitted, packet is allowed, or packet is blocked, or packet is, so I mean, denied?
Denied.
That can be done by using the network or internet layer. In the network interface layer side, is there any media related issues like air, water, or magnet? In the similar way, so is there any physical cable connectivity issues can be done under the, so network interface layer or network ethernet layer? These analysis I can be done using the Wireshark packet capture analysis or network traffic analysis. This is one of the very important thing you have to remember. Why? Because when we are going to SIM tool investigation side, each and every entry question is, do you experience a log onboarding or not? Do you aware of the lag abort or not? Okay, so did you integrate any times any data source or log source SIM tool to any data source or logs to SIM tool or not? That time you have to explain about both the conditions, with errors, without errors. We can see the logs in the SIM tool, or we cannot see the logs in the SIM tool. Option 1 and option 2 as a probability two times. So this one are the very favorite entry question. Same question even we can expect under the, how can you integrate end user logs to SIM tool? How can you integrate Windows Server logs to SIM tool? Using the collector agent method, we can integrate. Okay, so end user logs or server logs to SIM tool. Port number for these two scenarios, it vary from vendor to vendor, 443, 8443 or 9093. Today entire question, do you experience on how to integrate onboarding the log source logs to SIM tool? So do you have experience on Wireshark or not? These questions will come regularly, guys. How you are able to give the answer is completely depending on you. Today entire question once again, whatever we discussed, Sophos EDR, Sophos XDR, ransomware attack, phishing email investigation attack. These two attacks only, they took for 45 minutes for as a L2 vacancy after roles and responsibilities. From past 1 month, I am not doing the YouTube videos. There are so many tests are going on, but unfortunately, I am not making all those YouTube videos. What all the regular questions they are expecting? Every time it is repeating, you will get bored basically by seeing my videos. Every time, as I said, sorry to say this one, maybe I am right or maybe I am wrong. Whatever we discussed in the class, out of 100% of the questions, 95% of the questions are coming as it is, without any, not even changing the naming convention also. How you are able to express yourself, how you are able to give the answer yourself, how you are able to explain without with the dare and courage, how you are able to understand the question is very important. First of all, what they are asking about itself you are not able to understand. How can you give the answer? Why people are not able to crack the interview? Because of this reason only, people are not understand the question. People are anxiety, excitement, fear. First of all, they are not able to express their self. Then how the people can crack the interview? Whether I am mistake, whether it is mistake from my side or mistake from your side, please try to analyze that one. Why you are not able to crack the interview from your side? First, improve yourself. Why I am saying all this? I know practical I am seeing for more than 2 years. One question logically, same as they are expecting. When they will ask crash question, can't be able to give the answer back. First, you are able to understand the question. Nobody will expect out of 10 out of 10. So you have to give the answer. 10 out of 6 you can give, guys. You can crack the 100%. You will crack the interview. Nobody perfect in this world. Okay, next one. So on the TCP IP layer side, what is the difference between TCP IP versus OSLAS? You have to give the difference between these two. Okay, so I'm giving one more. How can you do TCP dump analysis using Wireshark? So these are all the questions from the Wireshark side and also TCP IP layer side. Not even nobody expecting nowadays. Classes of the IP address also. What is private IP address range versus public IP address range also. Straight away they are going to the or practical scenario based questions related to roles and responsibilities. What is TCP packet? What is IP packet? These questions become like a legacy or old. Nobody is expecting that one also. Next one, classes of IP address. What are all the private IP address range? What are the classes of the private IP address range? So what are the classification of the IP address?
Sir, TCP dump, it is a part of NOC team or analyst also.
Basically, in the server logs integration or end users logs integration, we cannot do the packet capture in between the source and destination. So in the server side, we cannot say packet capture. In the server side, we can say TCP dump. TCP dump space -d if are giving in the server side, then they will give the debugging file to us. Which team they will give to us? Server team they will give to us. Yeah. Then after taking that file, we can import on the same Wireshark and do the analysis. Because server is a not networking device. So server side we can say TCP dump.
Will you find all the details similar to the
Same
PCAP
as the,
file?
there is no difference at all. Same as it is whatever we are downloading the PCAP file from the network device in the firewall. Same as the TCP dump also. It looks like almost 99%. Now next one, what are the classification of the IP addresses? You have to explain class A, class B, class D and class C. A private IP 10 series or 172.16 series or 192.168 series. Now, how can you classify the incident as a internal attack or external attack or insider threat versus external attack? People are working on more than 5 years. People are working on more than 2 years. People are working more than 1 year also. Then they're asking me what is meant by insider threat. Insider threat is equivalent to internal attack. When the employees are trying to do the abnormal activity, that particular attack will come as a notification to us. Maybe through copying of the files through pen drive or sending maybe emails to personal to professional and professional to personal. First problem here is 50% people has the English communication skills. They don't know about synonyms, what they are using. They don't know about technical synonyms versus the our day-to-day synonyms. They don't understand about these things. How they will remember about what is meant by this one. Okay. So next one. Yeah. So based on the classification of the IP wise, we can say whether it is a internal attack or insider threat or else external attack. Okay. Next one. I think these are all the two questions only we can expect. Yeah, I will keep what is inside the threat also.
Will
If
they
the
ask
internal,
any question regarding loopback address?
No, very, very rare cases. Priyanka, sorry, Priyanka. So nowadays we are not expecting that question also. It became like a legacy or world.
Okay.
Yeah, previously we used to get that one, even class of the IP address also. Now nobody is expecting that question from the interview point of view. Yeah,
Any question regarding the subnets?
no need, no, not very, very rare cases. Maybe you're attending 100 interviews, maybe one interview, maybe you can expect.
Okay.
That to network side combination of the security.
Okay.
Yeah. Next one is ports and protocols. Today entire questions I will ask. Now you can give the answer. Total 7 questions they asked. Today interview question. Whatever I am saying, you are following that one more than sufficient to crack the interview. Today interview question, whatever they asked, I'll ask back, then you can give the answer. Port number of the port number 80.
HTTP.
Port number of NTP.
123.
Port number of POP.
110.
Port number of, okay, so LDAP.
389.
Port number of HTTP.
80.
Port number of
HTTP.
RDP.
3389.
3389. Okay. Port number HTTPS.
443.
These questions they asked. Last one. Port number of 445 is belongs to
SMB. SMB.
SMTP.
SMTP.
SMB.
SMB. Sorry, SMB.
SMU.
Are you feeling is it difficult one?
No.
Now you will say the answer, but at the time of the interview, you will not give the answer. I know that. Now you'll give the answer because you are comfortable with me as a friend. But one of the unknown person will come to you in front of me, in front of you. You'll become like a black is I mean, your mind is blocked. You'll get excitement, anxiety. I don't know why you will get the excitement, anxiety, and fear. They will not come here and they will not kill you, guys. Be dare and courage. That's what I said. I have a lot of friends are there, part of the IIT and also NIT and also ISB people and so on, IIM people. I asked several times question, what is the difference between you and me? I have more than percentage of you. You have only 60%. I have 80% in BTech. You don't have the risk. You don't take risk in your life. You will not take dare and courage in your life. That's what they used to say. They are doing the business. I'm here, I'm teaching. Sorry. This is what people. So even though they will do mistake, yes, I did mistake. What's wrong with? We are human beings, will do mistake, obviously. That courage and dare you can show not in front of me. You can show in front of your interviewer. Don't show attitude, but give respect. That is important. Okay. So ports and protocols, I don't say this one is very, very important question. You have to read whatever 25 to 30 we discussed. Okay, read each and every port number and protocol. There is no choice or option. Okay. Next one. In the Nmap tool side, actually this one is an open source. As I said, under the vulnerability management, already we discussed by default. Okay, so Nmap tool will do port scanning for the targeted IP or targeted system or targeted host name. Okay, so it will give the what are the ports are open and what are the ports are closed, and also it will give the what are the ports are filtered. Out of all these, what is mean by port scanning? If you are going for vulnerability management interview, they will expect. What is port scanning? Anyone? What is mean by port scanning?
Checking for any open ports in a network.
Only open ports? What
No,
is
it will
mean by
give the
indirect
detail.
speech? What is indirect speech? Whatever you said just now. Checking out the open ports. What do you mean indirect speech?
Is there any vulnerabilities, finding the vulnerabilities?
Finding out the vulnerability, whether Nmap tool will give the finding out the vulnerabilities?
But I mean,
No, no.
I mean to say, I mean,
It
what
will
is
give the details of what are the ports that are open, closed. I mean, active ports are
That's correct. So you said like, okay, what are the ports are opened? It will give the port scanning tool. Indirect speech is what are the ports are closed also it will give. If you know about what are the ports are open, indirectly we know about what are the ports are closed. It will give even filtered ports also. Our vulnerability management tool by default, it will give that particular option using enabling a couple of backend process. What are those backend process? In the VM, now you said
HTTP to HTTP redirection.
not on the application side. If you want to know about in the target mission, targeted host name, target IP address, what are the ports are open, what are the ports are closed, what is the backend mechanism for Nessus tool or Qualys or Rapid7 or Tripwire. Everybody installed in Nessus tool, everybody ran the scan, everybody is identified the vulnerabilities. Now you are not telling about what is the backend mechanism.
We'll have correlation engine.
Practice meaning not to about okay running the scan and identifying the vulnerabilities, understanding about the tool, understanding the logical thinking, play with the tool, understand about backend concept. People mythology, people thinking is okay, mechanical work, no need of innovation, no need of what is right, what is wrong. We need only one thing, mechanical work, how it will work. We are like a robots, we are behaving here. This one will come. Go to scan rule, create scan, take a basic template and create a, okay, so provide the scan rule name, scan rule description, targeted IP address, provide the scan rule scanner information, provide the CS benchmark, provide the okay authenticator or unauthenticated. How the backend mechanism it will work? Nobody knows. Nobody wants that one because we are like a robots now. What is the difference you and me and robot? You don't want that one. Sir, we need 10 tools. Why you need 10 tools? First, you can learn about one tool properly. First, you can learn about one tool, how it will work. Then you can apply all those backend concepts to same tool. What is backend mechanism? Who will give the answer? Who will give the answer? In case if you want to see what are the ports are open, any Windows system or Linux system, what is the backend mechanism? Which command we have to use in the command prompt?
Netstat.
Then why you're not saying that one? Why you're not saying that one? WMI method,
MSRP.
netstat, MSRPC, Linux netstat. Now you'll say this answer. Why? Because I given a hint. In the entire time, we'll give the hint. So these methods we can use to identify what are the ports are opened in any Nessus or Qualys or Rapid7 or any other tool also. Sorry if I'm rude. Apologies. Please don't take it negative way. I'm rectifying your problems or rectifying your issues. How you are thinking and what is the backend mechanism, you are not able to correlate. That is the problem here. Okay, that is our port scanning part. As I said, port scanning by default, whenever you are using the vulnerability management tool, it will give that ports are opened and closed and filtered also. Not only about just opened. Okay, so that is an Nmap tool. Now I have one question here. What are the different as port scannings we can do? This one we did not discuss in the class.
Vertical and horizontal scans.
That is VM scans. I am asked dedicated to port scanning enumeration techniques. Port scanning types. We did not discuss. Wanted I did not discuss this concept. What are the different port scanning types? I given in the theoretical way. Okay.
Full scan we have.
Yes, correct.
0 to 5335 you have 65335 all ports it will scan.
No.
Else you can give individual scan.
No.
Full scan, half scan, you have Xmas scan.
Yes, correct. TCP
Half.
full scan, TCP half scan, UDP full scan, UDP half scan, Christmas scan. At least
Xmas.
did you remember Christmas?
Xmas can.
Yeah, Xmas. No, that is not Xmas. That's a Christmas. Yeah, whatever you'll call it as Christmas scan. So these are all the scanning types from the port scanning side. Okay, you should remember that one also. That is about overall ports and protocols. As I said, ports and protocols, I cannot say this one compulsory interview question. You should avoid 25 to 30 all the default ports whatever we discussed, and also functionality of the each and every port. Okay, next topic. DHCP. Under this one, we can expect port number of the DHCP. Okay. And also DHCP backend process. What is DHCP backend process?
Dora.
Dora
Yeah.
process.
Dora process, correct? So now, here one more thing here, we cannot, so far I did not see never, nobody will ask about what is the difference between static IP versus dynamic IP so far. Okay. Next one, I think DHCP said only these two, that's all. Maybe you can expect one more question from here. Whenever any security incident is triggered, so in the alert, we can see the only IP address, but we don't know who is the user. In that scenario, what will you do? What the answer? For example, practical, I will ask. At 5 o'clock, November 20th, one of the ransomware got compromised by end user system. That alert is triggered by a SIEM tool or EDR tool. But when you are clicking on the respective incident or alert, you are not able to see who is the user. In that particular scenario, what will you do?
This is out of office hours. Basically, the attacker name would not be rendered.
Okay, same time. 5 p.m. is whether out of office hours? 5 p.m. AST.
We have to check with the shift timings.
5 p.m. not our system, any HR system, for example.
Okay. So
At 5 p.m., ransomware got impacted by the one of the end system. That alert is triggered by a SIEM tool and also EDR tool, file integrity monitoring tool as well. But when you're clicked on the SIEM tool alert, when you clicked on the EDR alert, when you're clicked on the our file integrity monitoring alert, you can see only IP address and you can see only OS, but you are not sure about who is the user. What will you do? Which system will do the investigation?
there is two possibilities here. If it is static IP, you can find who was allocated with that.
Static only for the servers, we can't find out the.
Yeah, that is what static IP will go to only servers.
But if it is dynamic IP, we don't know who it has been assigned.
That is what my question here. That is what my question. What will you
Then
do in that scenario?
I'll go and check with the Active Directory logs.
Then why you didn't say that one in the previous one? You will speak with, you will go and you will verify the Active Directory logs, or otherwise, even though Active Directory logs you are not able to see, you will contact the Active Directory team. Apply please theoretical versus practical. Don't like Active Directory. It is directory of the service. It will provide all the users and company information. That's it. Why can't you apply all the practical to theoretical part now? That is the part missing basically from your guys. You got it right now?
Yes.
So in case, okay, first I will verify the Active Directory logs. At that particular event timestamp when the security incident is triggered to ransomware attack 5 p.m. IST, I can go and I can check the logs. But even though logs does not contain the user information, then I contact the Windows administrator team or Active Directory team or sys administrator team or network administrator team, whoever is a part of the Active Directory. Then I'll come to know who is connected at the time of the 5 p.m. IST. They are connected via LAN or wireless LAN.
We need to provide that IP, right?
Obviously, you have to provide the IP to them. 1 second, hold on a minute. Okay. Is it clear or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay, next one. DNS. Next one is DNS topic. So what is DNS? Anyone?
Domain name.
Domain naming system. It will
What is
convert IP
DNS?
address to
Domain
sorry, domain name to IP
Domain
address
name
and
to
IP
IP.
address,
The IP
vice
address
versa.
to MAC address.
Domain name to
MAC
MAC address.
kaadu.
Sorry.
IP to
address.
domain.
IP.
mapping.
No, domain to IP.
Naresh.
Sorry, sir.
But that is not correct answer.
Domain name into IP address.
That's all.
Also vice versa.
But I did not satisfy with your answer.
Okay, then I think you were asking the backend process related to what will
I
happen when
need
there is a
backend
disruption.
process only. I need backend process only.
Firstly, the request will send to the local cache or the DNS resolver.
Why?
If it
No.
has
Why you're saying the answer now? Why you did not say this one previously? That's what my question here.
RK, at least we have to say the definition.
I don't.
Right?
Whether Inter will give the hint to you, Priyanka, please be frank with me, honest with me. Whether Inter will give the hint to you.
Because anything we start with actually at least
Okay,
we
you can
should
give that.
abbreviate it.
That is okay. Maybe you can say in this scenario, DNS process. I'll explain the two ways. Basic definition is it will convert domain name into IP address and vice versa. IP address into domain name. And we have another backend process also. What is the backend process here is when the user is requesting google.com, that particular request will go to DNS server. DNS server, it will validate whether the requested domain is whitelisted or blocklisted. If it's a blocklisted, it will respond back to the end user. End user is not able to access. It's a whitelisted. It will check in the respective cache or buffer or not. In case it is not existing as a new domain, then it will go to backend authoritative server. Authoritative server, once again, it will do the, so whether it is a new domain or whitelisted or blocklisted, is the blocklisted one, it will respond back to DNS server. DNS server will put in the cache and also it will respond back to the end user. End user is not able to access. It's a whitelisted one. It will respond back to DNS server. DNS server, it will make a DNS record and it will respond back to the end user. End user is able to access. Why you are not able to say that one?
But you asked only what is DNS. That is the reason.
Nobody will ask, okay, what is DNS backend process?
We are waiting for second question, sir.
No, that is what I'm saying. They will ask simple, what is DNS server? What exactly it will do? Maybe in my terminology, what is DNS backend process you are aware of. Maybe interview panel time, DNS backend process they're expecting, and you are giving the basic definition. Then in that time they will satisfy with your answer.
No.
Then we can make like assumption like a probability 1 is this is the answer, probability 2 is this is the answer. Okay, next question. Which protocol or server will support both TCP and UDP?
DNS server only.
DNS.
Yes. So answer is DNS. Regularly we can expect this question also. So coming back here, on the DHCP server side, there is no attacks. Under the DNS side, we can expect one of the regular interview question, DNS spoofing, or
Poison.
DNS poisoning, or DNS amplification attack. This one we can expect at the time of the interview. Okay, and I forgot one more very, very important question on the voice layers. That one is, what is ARP? What is ARP?
Address resolution protocol.
Address resolution.
Backend process.
Did I ask about what is the full form?
It
No.
will.
Then you can
It
give the full
converts,
answer. ARP full
converts.
form is address resolution protocol. It will convert layer 3 IP address to layer 2 MAC address.
Yes.
MAC address and
Don't give partial answer. Okay, next one. That is about DNS side. So on the file server, I want to explain more into this one, because this one, it will come the ransomware attack today entire question.
Sir, I have a note, just small doubt.
Yeah, please.
If the blocked list, I mean, any domain is a blocked list, it will check if it is blacklisted, that is the reason it is able to access that. The blocked list data also will store in the cache or not, sir?
Backend database itself, it will store. There is no need of cache. DNS also has the backend database. You store in the database directly.
Okay, if it is not available in the cache whitelist, like whitelisted,
Even in the backend database, it will store.
okay, it will check. Okay, fine, understood.
Okay, this one mainly important point of view here. Ransomware attack. Don't get confusion part of the backup configuration file versus backup file. Backup is different. Backup configuration file is different. Backup. Okay, so backup configuration meaning here, regularly we can take the backup configuration. Incremental backup or differential backup. Daily midnight, every individual system, we can go and we can take the regular backup. That is different. Backup data is different. Don't get confusion here and there. Backup data is different. Backup configuration is different. When can we use backup configuration file?
when one particular firewall goes down in order to put back into.
No, I mean, I want to say about end user system side. Forget about firewall concept here.
Hardening the system, hardening the.
When you reset the system or format the
Exactly.
system.
When you want to ready-madely, you have to do the formatting the system, and freshly you want to do the new system configuration side, we can take the backup configuration file. Backup data is nothing but here, regularly we can do the backupping of the entire data. Ransomware, whenever it is got impacted, maybe either it is encrypting one file or group of the file, entire operating system. So that time, obviously we have to take the backup data, we have to, okay, so do the regular backup. What are the example of the couple of regular backup related data we can go and we can use it? Couple of examples of the tools.
Backupping, you are saying about backupping of data?
Yes. Can you give the
It's
couple of
like
examples?
tools.
Backup data, everything you are storing. Can you give the couple of examples?
Cold and
Cold side, do you mean to say cold side, hot side?
cold and hot and warm.
Okay, that is sites wise. Okay, that's okay. Not cold and hot, sir, not cold and warm, mainly for the hot site. We have same as it is whatever primary data center it contains in the disaster recovery site. All these end user systems data also we can store it. But other than this one, why you are not saying about OneDrive? All of your files, it is not going and storing. Yes, magnetic tapes.
External hard disk.
NAS,
cloud storage.
SAN. Yeah, OneDrive is nothing but cloud storage. Yeah. Today entire question. Interviewer asked about, explain about ransomware attack. And already your confidential files are got encrypted by the attacker. In that scenario, how can you recover those files? What the answer you have to say? We have
By using the
ready-made
backup.
backup data storage files are available. Example, in my organization, we are using OneDrive and also we are using
NAS store.
SAN or NAS or Veeam. It's one of the tool. Once again, they asked in the interview, in your system is a laptop or MacBook? Laptop, we said. Then don't you have the OneDrive access? Why do you want store in the Veeam tool? Veeam is one of the backup tool. Anyone can give the answer? You said the answer, okay. Regularly, we are taking the backup data in the, okay, so Veeam backup tool. Okay, now, why are you using the third-party Veeam backup tool? For this one, we have to pay the licensing and additional cost. Don't you have the OneDrive from the directly Microsoft?
Yes.
Then why are you using third-party tool? Anyone? Logical question now. This is what they expected. Day before yesterday, one of the candidate explained about ransomware attack. How can you retain the data? What the
Support
answer?
system, we can say. Premium support or something like that.
Whatever system it is got compromised to senior management and board of the directors. Because of the security and confidentiality related issues, we are not storing in the OneDrive because OneDrive does not contain the, so security related controls are that much great as compared to the dedicated on-premise data center backup tool. So all the senior management system and board of the directors like a CEO, CTO, CFO, director, vice president, assistant vice president, all of their data we are storing in the Veeam backup in the on-premise data center because those people contains the business oriented data. It's very confidential. It's a very privacy of the data. Other than senior management and board of the directors, remaining all other employees of the data we are storing in the OneDrive and Google Drive. Will you get this spontaneous answer at the time of the interview, this one?
No.
This is what they'll ask back. Already you have OneDrive. Why you are using third-party tool? Your mind will be blank. You have to think about every business perspective where the confidential data is storing. Who's are critical end users in the organization side? Even the developer also very confidential people. Maybe they are developing the code. Their code is storing in the OneDrive. That OneDrive may be exposed to the public. Or all of the development of related code will be exposed to the public. Even our developer data also, we are storing in the on-premise Veeam third-party tool. Is the licensed one. This one you have to get with the spontaneous answer by thinking the critical versus non-critical, critical versus non-critical employees in the organization side. Otherwise, your answer will go wrong. You will not say the proper answer.
So
That means
you said it is like a CEO's machine. But even though if you have a end user machine, we can say that he's working on some critical or project. So that is the reason why we are storing it in.
Yes, maybe that end user system is got compromised, but at the time of the interview, I did not reveal is a CEO system. So that is the reason I said, like, with the spontaneous answer, I thought, okay, this is the end user system belongs to CEO. That one we are taking the regular backup as a Veeam instead of the cloud storage. That means you should be logically think DLP also in your minds as the regular backups.
Okay.
If you don't apply these theoretical, theoretical discussion, whatever we discussed, to practical, they are asking back the questions. Obviously, you cannot give the proper answer. Okay, this is one of the very, very favorite interview topic, ransomware attack. Regularly, we can expect this interview question. Under this one, there are so many other execution. That one we are going to discuss under the separate topic. Okay, that's all for up to DNS server we discussed. Next 3 to 4 days, I'm going to discuss about each and every topic wise interview questions. Okay. By the by, this particular story is completely filled up. So far, I taught more than 100 batches. No batch complete 15 GB out of 15 GB. For your batch, it is reached to 15 GB also. Now I have to extend that GB per month wise. Ramesh, how many approximate classes we discussed?
Approximately means upload చేయడమే అన్ని కలిపి 100 అయినాయి సార్.
More than 100. By the by, please go through the each and every subfolder also. Go to the each and every folder subfolder. NGFL means firewall.
Ticketing tool is empty, sir.
The ticketing tool I'll update. Yeah. You can go through all these regularly. Whoever is attending, those people is aware of what is meant by these folders. Otherwise, they're not sure about what we are discussing. Why these many folders are created. And interview questions I can upload here. Videos. Okay. That's all for today. And tomorrow morning, I'll take the class at 9:15 a.m. IST. Okay, guys, then. So, do you have any questions?
Sir, is there any relation between a raw image and the backup configuration file, sir?
Raw image and backup configuration file, both are same. That one handled by our corporate IT or help desk team.
Okay, both are same.
Yes.
Yeah, when we are discussing about digital forensic investigation, you said like this.
Yeah, we have to take E0, E1, E2 raw image, and we have to scan that one through third-party FTK or access data or oxygen forensics or NCase forensics.
Yes.
Any other? Please try to understand whatever concept we discussed tomorrow from Active Directory to till you can complete EDR. Then I'll ask the questions.
Sir, in the allotted details, we are not finding any file path. How can you? What are the ways to find the file path if you are not getting in the allotted details?
File path is not a mandatory. File path is not a mandatory for every attack. If you have the hash value, that's fine. Either of the one: file name, file size, file category, file extension, or file path. If you know file name, go to global search option and then you can identify whether file is existing or not. If you know about file, it's not a mandatory. Compulsory file path is a mandatory.
Okay, if you have the file name, we can search in the global.
Yeah, exactly. Global search, we can do that.
Is there any alternative, sir? With the file name?
By the by, nowadays it's not a mandatory compulsory. We have to go and we have to log into the system, create a new system because of the EDR and XDR capability. Everything we can monitor via through EDR and XDR tool itself. Because already Mitre Attack Framework, virustotal.com, and also google.com, everything is integrated. Lot of people are giving the answer, I will go to virustotal.com. Why you have to go to virustotal.com, guys? Already integrated EDR tools. That is long back 14th batch I prepared 2021. That one you are making a notes and you are every time I saying, I will go to virustotal.com. Why you want to go to virustotal.com? Already nowadays, EDR tool is integrated with all these frameworks. Directly can click on that one. So we'll come to know about what is the status of the reputation of the hash value. That is the main functionality of the EDR and XDR. Yeah, please.
I have pinged you the 7.3.3 of
yeah, that is
IBM.
fine. Yeah, I have gone through that one. But when we are verifying into our IBM Curator Community Edition site, even we reach 7.4.4 also. Latest version right now it's a 7.5. And at the time of the interview, you can say 7.4 we deployed in my organization side. That's what we are using in current.
And do we have any advancements when coming to 7.4 and 7.5? Because
7.5 is not released yet to general availability. It is in beta status only. It's not released to public availability. Right now, all the customers all over the worldwide, they are using 7.4.4.3 or 4. 7.4.3, I think. We have both 7.4.3 or 7.4.4. Advanced things we did not, I mean, they didn't release yet. What are the new feature it is going to come into IBM QRadar?
I tried installing it, but it's asking for the extra MB. I have got the same error for 7.5 and also 7.3.3.
Yeah, because that has same error, because the one of the bug was existing, that one, unfortunately. Yeah. Once the Palo Alto is acquired QRock, that day onwards we are facing these issues.
Did you find 7.3.3 the version, Priyanka?
Yeah.
Okay, you can discuss, guys, and I'm leaving for the class, and tomorrow we can discuss at 9:15 a.m. IST.
Sure.
Okay, then have a nice evening. Can I make anyone as a host? Do you want to discuss?
No, sir. No.
Okay, then good night.
Okay. Have a good day, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.